Hey, what's going on, Guardians? My name is the Black Link, and today, well, yesterday actually, by the time you're watching this video, we had the official unveiling, the release of the fourth Horseman's exotic questline. Well, with a little bit of a caveat to it, because actually Bungie screwed up the release of this quest. After reset yesterday, you were able to complete most of the steps for this quest, which we're going to go over the course of this video, up until the final step, which requires that you complete a legendary lost sector in the quarry. Unfortunately, the quarry was not available as a legendary lost sector initially. So it was assumed that this was going to be a time-gated quest and that we wouldn't be able to complete that legendary lost sector until the following day's reset. So I finished up the initial parts of the grind for this and then went off to work thinking we just had to wait until the following day. Well, apparently that legendary lost sector not being available today was a glitch, and of course, while I'm in the middle of my shift at work, Bungie fixes it and makes that legendary lost sector, the quarry, the active one from Rasputin for the day. So I had to finish up my shift and then come back and finish the guide video for this, which is why it's coming out a little bit later than usual. I'm gonna have to ask you to forgive me on that one. But the fourth Horseman, the exotic arc damage shotgun from Destiny 1, has indeed returned to Destiny 2. And the quest to get it is, well, it's pretty easy. It's very boring, but it's pretty easy. So we're very quickly going to go over the steps required to get this done. And then, of course, we'll give you our thoughts on the weapon itself. First things first, you need to head to the tower and go and speak with Commander Zavala. He's going to direct you to his personal office there in the tower. Now, the office is behind a little bit of a puzzling path, kind of like Banshee's hidden vault for the Leviathan's Breath exotic. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to get to. Just follow the path that we're taking here. You'll find Zavala's hidden armory in no time flat. There are a couple of little hidden passageways that you kind of have to go through, but it's fairly straightforward and very easy to get this part done. Once you've made it inside, you'll be able to start off the official questline for the fourth Horseman. Your next step is simply to return to Commander Zavala, and then he's going to point you over towards Anna Bray. Go talk to the crypto linguist and she will task you with killing Cabal or completing public events on Mars. And yes, thankfully, Escalation Protocol does indeed count as a public event. That'll grant you 10% per Escalation Protocol level completion. So if you run through the entire thing, you're going to get 70% of this done. But normal public events like the War Sat or the Witch's Ritual, getting those heroic is going to get you 20% completion here, so you definitely want to prioritize those. But go run some Escalation Protocol if you happen to get lucky with your instances there and have other Guardians. By the time you get all this kind of stuff done, it's really not going to take too long, but it is very, very boring. You're basically just running public events to get this done. Anyways, once that's finished, your next step is to defeat Scions and loot Cabal chests. This is basically going to be a dealer's choice. You can go around and kill Scions on Mars or really wherever you want to in the system, but I would definitely recommend just opening up Cabal-themed chests. Every chest you open is going to grant you 20% progress, while Scions will only get you 2% progress. What I would actually recommend here, if you're still on Mars, leave Mars, head to the EDZ, and search for Cabal chests there. You can go to an area like the Sunken Isles, make sure you have a ghost with the treasure hunter skill on, whip out a sniper rifle, and you should be able to find 5 Cabal chests in no time, which should move you on to the next step. After this, you'll need to visit Benedict 9940 back in the tower, and he's going to task you with defeating combatants, completing public events, and completing patrols in the EDZ in order to reach, again, a progress meter of 100. Patrol missions are going to give you 5% completion, heroic public events will get you 10% completion. So, back to more of the same. Thankfully this time, this is public events on the EDZ. So you'll be able to get this done much faster than the public event step back on Mars. I would definitely recommend running those public events. That 10% completion means you're only going to have to do 10 of those, less if you're peppering in some of the patrol missions. Maybe you might get lucky with some easy kill orders and whatnot. But anyways, go ahead and farm out those patrol missions and public events, and before you know it, you will have completed this step. Once you do, return to Benedict 99 one last time, and he will task you with completing the legendary lost sector, the Quarry, which, as I said at the start of this, was initially not available. Everybody thought it was time-gated, but Bungie went back and fixed it, made it the available lost sector. I do believe, even if you're watching this the day after reset, that lost sector should still be available as the legendary for the day. This is where things get a little bit difficult. Of course, these legendary lost sectors are no joke. The enemies inside are power level 1000. So, you're gonna want to be at least somewhere around power level 980, especially if you're gonna be trying to solo this. That can be rather difficult. Hopefully you've leveled up your Seraph Bunker and you can summon the legendary heavy frame. If you can do that, that thing will solo most everything in that lost sector. But anyways, get in there, defeat the wanted boss, and open up the chest. There will be some champions that spawn in there, some unstoppable champions and barrier champions. You actually don't have to take those guys out. If you're fast enough, you can just bust into the lost sector, take out the wanted boss, run up to the chest, and open it before they wipe you. As soon as you open that chest, they'll despawn anyway. And once you open that chest, congratulations. You will receive the 4th Horseman exotic arc damage shotgun, back in all its Destiny 1 glory. The 4th Horseman blitzes back into Destiny 2 with its signature ability, Thunderer. This weapon's rate of fire is increased significantly, and it fires fully auto. And they definitely mean fully auto, just pulling the trigger. Even the lightest pull of the trigger makes this thing just blast out all of its ammo. It's also coming with Arrowhead Brake for greatly controlled recoil and increased handling speed, Assault Mag for greatly increased stability and further increased rate of fire, and the weapon special ability, Broadside. Each successive shot has more damage and more spread. So as you're firing these 4 rounds, they're going to progressively get more and more powerful. Finally, we've got a fitted stock for increased stability, and it helps to moderately increase the recoil there. But I don't know why we would even put that on there, because this gun, recoil means nothing to the 4th Horseman. If you're pulling this trigger, this thing is unloading everything it's got, and by the time it's done, you're probably going to be looking straight up into the sky, because good lord, the 4th Horseman in Destiny 1 was a bucking bronco, and it hasn't changed at all here in the world of Destiny 2. Now, so how is the 4th Horseman? Well, it's alright, I guess. The damage it puts out is definitely no joke, but good lord, the rate of fire on this thing is so insane and the recoil is so insane that it's kind of hard to keep it on target with a single enemy that isn't something huge like an ogre. Now, alongside the release of the 4th Horseman, we also got its catalyst. This thing currently drops from Rasputin's Seraph Tower public events, I do believe, and it basically grants you an extra round of the 4th Horseman, bringing its magazine size up to 5, as well as giving you greatly enhanced reload speed, which is exactly what this gun needs. You're going to be reloading a lot with the 4th Horseman. Almost as much as you're shooting with the 4th Horseman will you be reloading the gun. And its initial reload speed definitely leaves a lot to be desired, so getting that catalyst is going to be of paramount importance if you're looking to utilize the 4th Horseman in PvE content. I'm not even really going to cover PvP right now because this is not a PvP weapon. It's basically got no range. You have to be right up on top of an enemy. It deals a lot of damage per shot, and that full auto is basically going to erase any super that's coming your way, but there are so many other better options for PvP. I really don't even feel a need to show you exactly why this thing is bad in PvP. So, the 4th Horseman is capable of putting out some pretty good DPS, but again, you're gonna want to mitigate that really slow reload speed, and even with the catalyst, there are other options out there to make that just a little bit better. You can use stuff like the dodge on hunters to instantly get back up to a maximum magazine size, making this a fantastic burst DPS weapon. If you can mitigate that reload speed with stuff like Lunafactions or dodge or rally barricade, you're gonna up the DPS on this gun by a ton. Damage-wise, it's pretty good. Not quite enough to say, I don't know, one burst a champion or anything like that. But it is a respectable amount of damage. If we head over to the Tribute Hall here and we deal with the big DPS ogre, when you don't have the catalyst, this thing will take a little bit less than half of its health in a full magazine. You're going to need about 2.5 magazines to really bring this thing down. But once you've got that extra shot from the catalyst, you can actually just 2 burst this ogre down, which is pretty good damage. And again, if you're mitigating that reload speed there, you're going to be able to put out some pretty quick, pretty insane DPS. I could see a lot of hunter plays working with this weapon in PvE. I'd also imagine that thanks to its high burst damage, it's going to stack pretty well with some of the damage boosting options out there in the PvE environment. So stuff like Hammering Strike or the Tether is probably going to be pretty good with the 4th Horseman here. But ultimately, this is not a gun that you're going to be using to clear a bunch of ads with. This is something you swap to for a burst DPS phase against a strike boss, some majors, some ultras, or raid boss, or whatever it is you're going to be fighting. You don't want to use this on the smaller enemies because, one, it's overkill for that. You're probably going to miss half the shots you fire at that dreg, and you're going to spend more time reloading than you are actually taking enemies out. This is definitely a gun that you reserve for the big boys. But in those situations when you're faced with a big enemy, you can mitigate that slow reload speed, and you might have stacked up some damage boosting abilities. The Fourth Horseman can definitely put in work. But alright Guardians, there you go. That is how you can get the Fourth Horseman Exotic Arc Damage Shotgun, a classic from D1, and those are some of my initial thoughts on the weapon itself. Be sure to sound off down in the comment section below about how you Guardians feel about the Fourth Horseman. Have you given it a spin? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you think it's just a little bit meh? Really, in D1, the Fourth Horseman was only really used whenever it was Arc Burn and Specialist on the Heroic Strike playlist. Then, enemies like the Bond brothers were absolutely quaking in their little Cabal boots. Maybe someday we'll get that sort of strike combination in the world of Destiny too. But be sure to leave me your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video or if it helped, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. That's it for this one. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and I need to go to sleep. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.